listen, we got 12 days to the midterms. You vote Republicans, you're voting for jobs, you're voting for economic prosperity. You're voting for a continuation of the America First policies led by Donald J. Trump. You vote for the Democrats, you're voting for mobs and caravans. That's it. And you want to turn the clock back on the tax cut and everything else. Now, what you're going to have to endure through the next 12 days are fake polls. Because now we have a new system in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. You know what fake news is? Now we have fake polls. We have fake polls to drive fake news to draw a fake conclusion. Let me say it again. In the next 12 days, be very wary of what the legacy media is going to do. Here's what the legacy media is going to continue to do. The New York Times, CNN, the fake newsers. Fake polls driving fake news for a fake narrative, for a fake conclusion. It's all fake. And you're going to get the truth right here from your Godzilla of the truth in America, and that's me. When CNN puts a poll out showing Mayor Gillum in Florida up by 12 points over Ron DeSantis, and he's a socialist, that is absurdity beyond belief. That's not a real poll. None of these polls are real. Not one of them are real. They did this to you in 2016, and they're going to do it again. And these are not polls to disseminate legitimate information. These are polls to drive a result. So you're going to get from the legacy media fake news with fake polls to drive a fake narrative to get a fake conclusion. And here's what they want you to do. They're going to continue to tell you and lie to you with these polls that they take with fake metrics and false information. These are push polls to trying to get a result. And here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a constant drumbeat for the next 12 days, just like they did in November 2016, saying there's a blue wave coming. The Democrats are going to win 100 seats. The generic numbers have widened to 15. All the Republicans are depressed. Don't bother to work. Don't hand out a flyer. Don't knock on doors. Don't make phone calls. Don't do anything. Because, look, the polling numbers show the Republicans are cooked. And so why waste your time? Go enjoy the weekend, see a football game, and have a beer. That's what they want you to do. They don't want you to work. They don't want you to get involved. They don't want you to be enthusiastic. So they're going to lie to you with fake polls, driving fake news to get a fake narrative. And at the end of the day, they want a fake conclusion drawn so they can get their own fake result. Polls by these legacy fake newsers are no longer to disseminate legitimate information and inform the public. They are done to drive a narrative to buttress whatever result they want. And so that's why I've been telling you for weeks, you just take one district, and that's the 10th in Virginia, just one. And I've been telling you for weeks, Barbara Comstock is either tied or ahead, and she's going to win that race. And now finally a poll comes out showing it tied. Finally, some legit poll somewhere. All the other fake news polls showed her down by 15. And I knew for a fact that was not true. Same thing now, they're showing Spanberger ahead in the 7th. Fake. They're showing Colburn ahead of Riggleman in the 5th. Riggleman's going to win that race by double digits. They want to depress Republican turnout and depress their volunteers. And they do this by lying to you. Now, we are beyond fake news now. Now we have networks of the legacy media that won't even report certain news items if they think it's going to interfere with their narrative talking points of the day, which is to defeat Trump and the Republicans. And look, I know there's a lot of Republicans out there that drive you nuts and you don't want to vote for them, and they voted this way or they voted that way. They didn't do this or they didn't do that. Or there was some infight or a primary fight or a feud going on. You got 12 days. Here's my thing. Let's unite now. Let's keep the House Republican. Let's build the Republican majority in the U.S. Senate so President Trump can continue his phenomenal America First policies and keep this country moving ahead. Once we do that on November 7th, then we can fight again. Let's win now, fight later. Oh, I don't like this one because he beat Canner. Okay, whatever. Go fight with Dave later. Oh, I don't like Scott Taylor because he beat Randy Forbes. I fight with him later. Oh, I don't like Barbara because she voted this way or that way. So I'm going to vote no. I'm going to vote for nobody, or I'm going to vote libertarian, or I'm going to stay home. It's ridiculous. Right now, if you're a Trump supporter, Trump needs a Republican majority, period. Doesn't matter who it is. He needs a Republican majority. You want to pick your petty fights, and we all have them. I get it. Do it later. There's a lot of people now I'm getting on my show that I have feuded with, and you know who they are. I'm not going to mention their names. And they come on now every single week. Why? Because we got to bring everybody together, get everybody on the same page for 12 days and win this election. Because we're working against hundreds of millions of dollars in swamp money, hundreds of millions of dollars from the Hollywood crazy left-wingers, and the entire fake news legacy media network, which has aligned now behind the Democrats. And so that's what you're fighting. So fake news is out there. And I'm going to say it again. You're going to get fake polls, which is fake news, to drive a fake narrative to get a fake inclusion. And the end game is to get the result they want, which is Democrats to take power. So they can do what? Roll back the tax cut, impeach Trump, go further with investigations, investigate Kavanaugh, tie the country up. So that's my advice to you. Get involved, do something, go to taxcutswork.com. I don't care what you do. Remember how happy you were the night Trump won? Those of you that are Trump fans out there, remember how ecstatic you were that night? Now, I know the never Trumpers hated it, and the Clinton people and the Democrats listen to my show. I know it all drove you nuts. But for those that were believers like me in Trump, remember how happy you were? That all goes away November 6th at 2 a.m. if we lose, because we're not going to be able to do anything. And then it comes back to 2020 again. Now, we got a real opportunity to fix things in this country. And the Democrats don't want to talk about the economy. They don't want to talk about jobs. They don't want to talk about economic growth. They don't want to talk about business confidence. They don't want to talk about all the great things the president is doing. They don't want to talk about ISIS is on the run. They don't want to talk about the fact that North Korea hasn't shot off a missile in months. They don't want to talk about the fact that Trump has unilaterally renegotiated every bad trade deal. And we got all this money coming in from tariffs. They want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the fact that he renegotiated NAFTA and Mexico caved and then Canada caved and saw it our way. We get better deals. He doesn't want to talk about the fact that the Chinese economy is tanking now as a result of his tariffs there. The Chinese are in a trade war they can't win and Trump can't lose. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the fact that he's deregulated the economy at a breathtaking pace. They don't want to talk about business confidence. Jobs are up for Asians. Jobs are up for Hispanics. Jobs are up for African Americans. Jobs are up for women. People are getting raises, and people can now leave jobs to get a better job. They don't want to talk about that either. They don't want to talk about the fact that under the Obama regime, everybody was scared to leave their job. They were scared. So even if they had a job they hated or they could do better somewhere else, they were afraid to leave. That's gone away. I mean, when you cut out the nonsense, he sent a tweet you didn't like. Hey, whatever. Who cares? Come on, get over yourself. Oh, I don't like what he said about Stormy Daniels. Okay, whatever. I mean, really? You have children? You have grandchildren? You have a family? You have a job? I don't like the tweet that he sent out about this or that. I mean, get over your damn self. There is so much at stake here, and things are going so unbelievably well in this country. And Trumponomics is working. Now, it's easy for me because I'm a true believer. So I get it. And you're probably sitting there saying, it's easy for you to say, because you actually believe in this stuff. And I do. I believe in the America First agenda. I believe in his policies. I'm a protectionist. I believe in tariffs. So for me, every day is like Christmas, candy and nuts. Every day I get up, it's like a better day than the day when I went to bed. Tariffs, I'm for that. Getting rid of TPP, NAFTA, I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. Getting rid of the ridiculous Korean trade agreement, we got ripped off on that. All gone. All in 19 months. Unbelievable what he's done. When did you think you'd see 4.5% GDP growth? And the number of new people entering the jobs market, it's incredible. New people who had given up hope now entering the job market. I mean, the results are stunning. When did you ever think you'd have a president send his national security director to Moscow and say, we're pulling out of the arms treaty because you guys lied to us, so we're out. Thank you. Have a nice day. Well, what do you mean you're out? Here's the way it works. You do a treaty with Russia. Russia cheats. The U.S. doesn't. That's how it's always been. What do you mean you're pulling out? You can't do that. That upsets the world order, which is screw America. The legacy media world order is screw the United States and screw workers. That's it. Somebody called earlier and said, we need E-Verify. Really? You're never going to get E-Verify. You're never going to get it. Who's going to stop it? Goldman Sachs. Gangster banksters. Wall Street. Lower Manhattan. It's about shareholder value. E-Verify would mean that wages would go up and you would have to pay people a livable wage. We can't have that. That'll drive down our stock price. And instead of getting a $900,000 bonus, it'll only be $750,000. Can't have that. I gotta buy a new yacht. This is what you're dealing with. This is why the stakes here are so high. All right, here's a tweet that the president just sent out. Let me read this in real time. Just moments ago, the president tweets out, for those who want to advocate for illegal immigration, just take a good look at what has happened to Europe over the last 5 years. A total mess. They only wish they had that decision to make over again. Now, I'm telling you, the president's hands are tied with this caravan. You can send anybody you want down there, or National Guard, military, it doesn't matter. They're going to push the women and the children to the front of the line, and they're going to cross the border. And what is the National Guard going to do? Put a bayonet at the end of the gun? They're not going to do anything. They're going to step aside and let the border agents arrest as many as they can, put them together, 20 days they get released. What the president has to do is get McConnell to get rid of the cloture rule after the midterms, and you got to fix the loopholes. Because it's the loopholes in the law and the Flores decision that are allowing these immigrants to come in because the U.S. government's powerless to do anything about it. And you're certainly not going to be separating children again like you were. That's a PR disaster before the midterm. So basically, they're going to come in. What the president should do is say, okay, in order to not have them come in, we have to get Republicans elected to the House and the Senate so we can change the law to stop it. Otherwise, you don't have a border. And you know what? In 12 days, you can make a decision on whether or not you want a country. And if you don't want a country, vote for Pelosi, vote for Schumer, vote for the Dems, and there'll be no borders and no country. There it is. That's your choice. If you would like a country, then keep the Republicans in the majority. And fight later. Infighting is what I mean. Not fight to win, but infighting. Petty infighting. You know? This one's not going to give money to that one because they beat him in some primary. Knock it off. It's not about you, man. There's a lot more at stake here. And I'm leading by example by getting people on my show who I was at odds with over the Trump campaign. We're all made up now because it's bigger than me and it's bigger than you and it's bigger than them. There's a bigger picture. And I'm fired up today because I see it. I see it today, just like I told you in 2016, when everybody was in a deep panic and they were all depressed. I kept telling you Trump is going to win. I went on CNN 3 times a week and said at the end of every show, I got the final word in, I said, Trump's going to win. And they laugh, call me an idiot, and he won. And there is an undercurrent coming right now that the Democrats can't stop. It's mobs or jobs. It's caravans or a country. That's basically what the choice is. You want caravans or do you want a country? Do you want a mob or do you want a job? Caravan or country, mobs or jobs. You got to make that choice.